Let's see if it works. Are we running? I think we're running. It's pretty good weather today, so anyway, I'm still looking for a 12-volt thin client, and I'm still sorting out my computer. I'm just running, well, one of the computers, the one affected with virus, just was running AVG. I began to run AVG and went to sleep, and I found a good amount of files. Also the text files with the ransom thing, it apparently wanted to delete, saying that there was something in those files as well. I don't know, but so I don't have the text files anymore, although I do have the code for the, that you would need to unencrypt, to get the unencryption key, if you had the, the possibility of yeah. But anyway, so I'm still sitting on my crap top, my crap top here, that just when you push things and all that, it just ends up doing things it shouldn't do, and it's a very crappy computer, this thing. Even if you're making text, I'm afraid the computer might do something that you're not doing. It's just an overall, just fixing the icons left and right in regards to the fans of the browser, and it breaks in the graphic. It's just it's a mess of a computer. And I even installed Crunchbang because it's a very minimalistic system overall. And yet, even with the minimalistic, it does work better than Windows 10. But even with this minimalistic thing, it doesn't work very good. I can't believe that they're selling computers like this. I know it was cheap, the cheapest of the cheapest, pretty much. But how can you make a computer that can't even, and just does things of itself, and it's like storing, if you're pushing down, and it might just continue downwards while you actually stop the thing, just give me a break. So it's sometimes it does it more than others. It's very annoying. I'm not sure how much CPU is used. 23%, 33% of CPU using while I'm using the browser. And that's the only thing I have open here. But every time you take the fans and roll to the left and the right because of this nonsense system, I like to have all the tabs together on one screen instead of this. I don't have an overview of the tabs when they do it like this. It's just bullshit. And Opera does it correctly. Although I don't really want to use the Opera browser. The problem is that it's the browser I'm going to every single time, because it's the one that works the best of them all. It's not like I want to use it, but it's the thing that tends to work the best for me. Sadly, I would like to use Pale Moon or Sea Monkey, but in regards of slow computing and all that, they sometimes are just they can't handle so many tabs, and I should really just fix those nails as well, by the way. I was doing my nails yesterday, and I forgot to do the last 4. I was out walking, and I just thought, okay, I'll just take and then I forgot about it. There's so many things, and of course everything continues, and it's just a mess. Hopefully I would get to the point where there's not much more to do. Well, there seems to always be things to do. And now this virus nonsense just set me back on, on so many levels. and I'm still unsure what to do in regards of it. If I just should, you know, I would think that around 5 or 10 years or something like that, you could probably break the encryption, but you would still have to figure out something or someone to make an application where you could actually, you know, decrypt things. I don't know what could, you would need to have something. And I don't know how many people this thing has hit. You know, if there's enough people that it has hit, that someone would be interested in to make something that could break the encryption, or if you got the code to actually, if the application actually does the decrypting thing, actually, if it will ever come out. Or so I'm kind of, I could also just delete the files, and just start over. It makes it a little easier to just delete things when you can't use the files anymore, right? So, but anyway, I'm doing a deep scanning again to see if it finds more, and then I wanted to do, I wanted to do another antivirus program which seemed to have problems. So, but maybe I can run it from the other Windows system. I have two Windows systems. I had the old Windows system that I had left, and then I set up a new system for this specific computer. So the other system was actually installed on another computer. I think it was installed on my laptop, and so I wanted to fix a new system and all that. But the virus has just has just messed everything up. The old system, the new system, everything is a mess pretty much. The evil in this world is just, it's just everywhere. So it's sad that people would do this to other people. It's sickening, but that's just how it is. So I'm looking at, I was looking at videos in regards to this Dellwise V90LE or V whatever. The number is just in regards to what system it comes with. So you had V10 or V50 or V90 and all. It depends in regards to what system apparently it has. Instead of just writing it, because apparently that just But anyway, so it runs on 12 volts and 4 amps. And actually, I did find a place where they said that you can connect it directly into a cigarette thing, 12 volts. So that seemed to also should work with my power module that I have. I'm just trying to find a version of this thing that it has to be pretty much 1.2 gigahertz. That's the biggest version they have of this thing, which apparently is 50% faster, they say. Also, it seems in graphic, which always is a good thing to have, more power. I don't know, the consumption might be a little bigger, who knows, or maybe not. It depends on the technology, of course. If, I haven't looked at the data on the CPUs and all that. We have another one here that's a C10. That's a very small unit. It's also low source, but it's not so, fast. I just need to find something I can use, just something I can connect up to. I understand that I won't be able to be on the computer all the time, like I can when I'm connected to the electricity. So I will absolutely have to do less of that. That's okay. I have a lot of other things to do, so that might be a good thing actually. So there's also this version. Apparently this version is the same as the other version, although made by two different companies. This unit you can get pretty cheap. It's a TINSIC 56XX apparently. And that's the same as another device that it doesn't look like it's as good as the other one, but it still runs 12 volts and all that. So again, there's a lot of factors to take into consideration. But again, first and foremost, it has to be 12 volts. I was looking at this laptop running Windows 2000, and it did look like it was running 12 volts, but then I found some other conflicting information running 19 volts. So that's kind of a problem. I also have to need to order some wires and some plugs for the 12 volts. I have to give me some, I found some where you can just put the wires in and just fix the wires into it, and then fix it into the device. That would be nice, because then I can just change by just fixing a screwdriver and fix them together and all that. It's low voltage, so shouldn't be any problems on those levels anyway. So then I can test different things, and you can always figure out something else, fix them together, in the future if I don't. But it's so again, looking again on different computers on the 12 volts, trying to sort out what should I, it says it's doing around 10 to 15 watts, this device. But again, the question is, how much does the 230 volts to 12 volts actually use, Because if that uses, let's say, 10 watts or maybe even more, well, maybe not more, but 7 to 10 watts, well, that would, and you take it away and just put it directly into the 12 volts, then of course you wouldn't have, you would take that, so when I see people, or when I see the data that this computer takes you so and so much and all that, that is not necessarily the true amount when you take off the adapter and go directly to the 12 volts. It might be different, because the adapters could of course be of different quality as well, and have different ratios in regards of how good they are. But yeah, I will have to get a unit of these. The good thing is that they're not that expensive. Many of these units are pretty cheap, because it's old school technology, and that people are not really interested much in them. And I guess there's no reason to really be, if you're on the grid, you might not care much in regards of how much it consumes. Of course, the electricity are going up in our days, like times 5, compared to, it's like 2 kroners usually, and now it's 10 kroners. So that's times 5. Here we have some Ys. There's also low consumption. I'm not sure what these are. A lot of Ys, X, Z, or XO. I'm not sure what that is, but let's see here if we can find some more information on it. Again, the first thing you need to figure out, is it 12 volts? If it's not 12 volts, there might be some of these devices, as far as I understand, that actually can do 12 volts, even if they're not made for 12 volts. But it's a good idea to just, I think, to see if you can find something that actually fits the bill in some sense, right? I lost the. So yeah, my virus, my one computer is just behind me here, and I have the laptop here, and just the other one here. So it's like, we have one screen over here, one screen over there, and one screen there. So it's kind of, it's a little weird. Of course, I really don't need the third screen on the other computer, but I'm not sure either in regards to the devices. There was some versions, I think, that actually could do 2 screens, which is also, some can only do 1 screen, some can do 2, and I think there was some versions of this thing that actually can do 2. I'm not entirely sure if it usually, if it's only this specific version, or because there are 2 plugs. There's an VGA and what is it called? The other one, I think it's called digital and analog plug, whatever. They can run both things, and but I'm not sure if you can actually use them together at the same time, if it's possible, or if you need a specific version that can handle that. But of course, there was some information on that. Of course, just a screen in itself just takes up uses power, and I might not be so interested in. But sometimes it's nice to have two screens. But of course, if in the summer it will be no problem. I think, hopefully, maybe I don't know. I guess it's interesting. It seems like my power is it's making more power now than it was before. So it seems like when the sun are going lower and lower on the because my sun panels are going this direction, right? It's facing this way, and I guess when the sun gets lower at the point, it will be more direct on the solar panels and then produce more. But I would think that the sun also would be less strong, but apparently it seems to go in the direction, at least to make we'll see today. There's some time to the sun gets I can see the sun is like going this way at the moment, so it will take some time before it actually gets to this point where it goes to the topmost point of so yeah. But here we go with the X90L. No, is that okay, 16 watts he says it takes. But again, how much without the adapter, right? You have to take the adapter into consideration. If the adapter uses 6 watts or 8 watts or something like that, then the unit maybe only use 8 watts. This thing uses 6 watts, and if I just take it out of the computer, it still uses 6 watts. It's consuming 6 watts all the time when it doesn't turn off or anything like that. It just stays on. 6 watts. And the other thing that should actually spare or save the power was using 11 watts. So that was just wasting more energy than it actually. It wasn't saving energy; it was wasting energy. No, this was the wrong unit. Okay, this one. Okay, 16 watts. Yeah. Okay, 16 watts. Yeah, both saying 16 watts. But again, how much does the adapter use? I don't know if if you actually measured the adapter without anything on it. That's probably the thing that is also continuing to use when it's used. I would think maybe there's even more laws. I don't know, but I don't know much about that. But I can clearly see there's a laws. I will need to test that by the device to see the 12 volts, how much it actually uses and all that. And again, that might not be totally precise because the unit itself might be using a little more to actually convert the, well, I guess it's still then how many, it's actually still the watts that I guess it in itself is using. So, but he was talking about that there was these these specific versions of this unit. See if we can find it. Uh-oh. Oh my. Okay. He says here, I've also come across mention of the V90 dual model, V90DV, but I don't know whether this different hardware yet again, but I think it may be just a Y cable used with the VX0L hardware. And I don't know what the Y cable is. I don't know if it shouldn't be able to run. Oh, the Y cable. So they're just using a Y cable, probably with the same hardware, I guess. I'm not sure what kind of Y cable it would then be. A white cable for one of the video Yeah, there's probably, I think one of them can do two screens by itself. So maybe you have two ways of actually doing it. Maybe a Y cable and I still can't remember these different kind of names of the plugs, but uh, I just don't. It won't stuck in my brain or stick into my brain apparently. But maybe that was a version where you had like a cable, a V cable. In any case, I need to get me a unit so I can test it out, and then I can always look further into things. If that's the unit I wanna, if that's a possibility, if it looks good and it's the way of what I want, if it has what I need. I just need to run Windows 2000 and be able to, and of course the project of itself in regards to Windows 2000 is in itself a project that will probably take a lot of hours, some days to sort out. But first and foremost, of course, I need to find a device that actually can do what I want. So what was this? This is wise, okay. So one of the slim things I've ordered is on the way, but again, I sadly don't think it can run Windows 2000. As I understand it, they fixed the BIOS so it can only run the one specific system that they have chosen, which is Windows 2000 embedded version. I don't know how much difference there is in regards to the embedded version besides some upgrades maybe. And maybe it's made to run on lower resources and all that. And of course you can seem to be able to pick what applications you want, so the installation file itself might be smaller, and thereby you can also, if there's some applications you don't want, you can just not, not install them. If you don't need them or anything like that, just don't install them, right? So here we have a mini wise dual video. Let's see how that looks. This is, it might be one of these links that is not, no, it's actually dual video Windows XP DVI. Maybe it's called DVI in regards to, but RS232, still don't know what that is, but maybe that's the standard of the DVI. I don't know. Let's try to see if it actually, if the DVI, if the RS is actually connected to the DVI. I stopped following along with all this thing. RC DVI-D extender with audio RS2. Yeah, well, what is what is RS232? Also extends RS232 and HDCP signals to the remote screen. Okay. Well, it does seem to be something in regards to that plug in itself, because there doesn't seem to be much. Okay, so let's see here. What is this? What is RS232? Standard original. Oh, is it just a standard? Oh, VGA. Oh, why couldn't they just say VGA then? Oh, it's just the standard VGA. I didn't know that. Interesting. What is the RS232 connector for? It's between two devices. Oh, maybe it's the other. Oh, maybe it's not the VGA. Maybe it's actually just a telecommunication thing. Okay. Oh, it's the big one. Okay. Seems to be the big plug that is on it, which apparently is probably something I won't use. So I don't see any use for it as far as I know. There's something in regards to telecommunication anyway. So that must be the one. Okay. Then we have the PCM CI and SD card reader there, and then we still have this, but they haven't written about that apparently. Okay. Okay, so far so good, I guess. Let's see some details here. And it's in German. Yeah. Mini computer 10 client Vice V90 dual video with Windows XP embedded SP2, and he says it's a striped down Win XP version. As long as it works, then it's fine. This is the 800 megahertz version, so that's not going to go. I won't, I will go after the 1.2 gigahertz. But they're all 12 volts, so. No, actually, it is according to this, apparently, the RS232 actually is what seems to be for the screen. But maybe this plug is not used for the screen, maybe it's used for something else, I don't know. But yeah, maybe it's not used for the screen at all. Maybe it's only the plug downward that actually can be used for the screen. I do recall that there was some kind of plugs, so okay. Uh-oh. So maybe there's only one plug to screen, and maybe you can then get a division for that, a split cable for this thing, and then have two screens with a split cable. Maybe that's the way. I guess the RS232, I think you could use it for joysticks or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. It was some kind of, when you connected the joystick, you connected it to this. Yeah, well, anyway, maybe it's a, well. At the moment, when XPMB is on it, and if you install codec, you can play films from the USB stick, AVI films, and MP3 music. You can use it to go online as a user, not as an admin, virus free, so it is an ideal mini computer for school, blah 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, but this is it's the 800 megahertz edition, and we don't want to do that. I want to have all the power that I can get. So it's sad that the laptop seems to be 19 volts. It would be pretty nice to just have a more modern laptop that was running Windows 2000, and you could just take it with you, and it has pretty much all the things that many of these slim things have. You just have the screen with it as well, and it doesn't really use that many watts. 16 watts in total, and that is with a screen. That's pretty good, So it would have been nice if you could then just connect it to the 12 volts, but anyway, I don't think that will work, but who knows, maybe it will. One would have to test that out. So yeah, so far so good. There are some of these devices that also have like a hard drive space for hard drive. And okay, this one is. You have some variations of these kinds of devices. Some of them has the SD card and parallel PCMCIA, but the SD card thing, but you can always plug something into the USB that you have these different small units today where you just connect it into a USB, and then you have all these. Yeah, okay, here we have a closer picture, and it does look like the plug, the top plug might not be, we can just take a little screen here, I guess. It does look like it's like not a VGA port. I thought it was a VGA port, this one. I thought that was a VGA port. Now, of course, this one is, and there's apparently 3 kinds of these Some that can only do analog, some that can do analog and digital, and some that can only do digital as far as I recall. But I can't remember all the details about it. Here we have the SD card thing, and here we have the, well, up here we have the PCMI, whatever. They use it for gaming things and all that. I've seen. And we have for the mouse and for the keyboard. I would need either a converter from USB to, I think I had that in the past, but I don't have any one now, but I should look into that as well. That would be something I would need to get, something, a keyboard or whatever that can run, or just an adapter. But this is the unit, and over here you have a hard drive that is usually in it. I can't see if there's actually, but this over here you usually have this weird thing, and you have sometimes some parallel ports down here, and you also could actually fix your own apparently if you can figure out how to, but I can't. But apparently it does work if you actually put it on. I've read if you put another parallel connection, and apparently there's some extra USB here. I don't know how that, but apparently, I don't know if I haven't seen anything where they say that they have tried it out, and but anyway, it should work. I guess there's not much more on that. So there's the V90 dual video. But what does the dual video do? Is there like, again, is there like a split cable to this dual thing? There must be like a split cable, but or maybe it was just born with a split cable and maybe it's not in the box. Doesn't look like that there's anything in the box. A split cable, again, it would be a split cable of this video thing, and that would be something I should search out and see if but I can't remember the name of it. So let's see here. Video block split cable or Y cable. Let's see here. Well, here we have a DVI. It's called DVI. Okay. And then you have the DVI whatever and the whatever. I guess D stands for digital, I guess. Here you have, that's a VGA, but here we have a splitter at least. So I guess it has to be video, DVI plug split cable. Let's see what we find here. And here you can actually split it to VGA, and that must be something of that nature, That must be possible to do if you, yeah, there was something in regards of the how many pins there was, if it was for 2 screens or 1 screen. I think that was something. I need to go through that video again. I'll find something of the same. I found something on YouTube explaining it. So I guess it should probably be possible to have 2 screens on it with a split thing on it. So, and that depends in regards to what kinds of screens do I need any adapter on them as well and whatnot. Here we have a DVI to VGA, standard 2 VGAs. So that's pretty much what I guess. Well, I on this computer I have like for HDMI to VGA, and that works pretty good. Just put the VGA things in the. Well, I can take one of these. See, yeah, here we have. This is the HDMI. Very nice small plug. I guess there's different versions of that as well. It looks like, but then you have the VGA thing, and you just put it in. Apparently, the cable is not long enough to come over, so let's just plug that in back again. There we go. That works. They work without any problem. So all these different standards, right? I never understood this big thing, the DVI plug. why it needed to be so big. So the new HDMI, or the more modern HDMI, just much more in my alley in some sense. Oh, it's getting hot. Okay, we have some DDR RAM. That was, I guess, for one of the machines. You know, and I will need to check out how much RAM they can actually do. Some say they can only do so and so much and all that, and yeah, you would like to have the maximum you can get in. You know, RAM, you can always use RAM. So let's see, what version is this? Is this the double? Yeah, and it's probably only have like 800 megahertz. So we have the resolutions, and the resolution seems big enough, you know, more than, you know. Okay, 800 megahertz or not. But there might be some of these modules that have some things that you maybe could use, take out and put into another device. I don't know, because I've seen hard drives in some of these devices. Here we have a YC90LE. That's a much smaller device, also running 12 volts. So would be interesting to try as well with Windows 2000. Let's see, we have some retro Facebook. Yeah, but I'm not sure they really are going to be that helpful on. But you know, there's some people that are into old gaming. It's not the gaming part that that's not the reason why I'm here. I just want a computer that can code a little and connect to my FTP. And here we have a retro tutorial from Retro Tech Chris. He's pretty good, although he had a unit that was underclocked, and he was running with an underclock system. But he shows some things in regards of apparently he's installing 98 on this computer, and he shows what drivers and all that. But he had an underclock device and found out that he was running 400 megahertz. And he had a 800 megahertz. He was complaining about the speed when he had it, when he was testing it, and found out, actually, so he's just getting double the amount by clocking it to the right speed. But of course, if you actually have the 1.2 gigahertz version, you get even further speed. So my HP T5530 thin client running Windows 2000. Okay. Apparently he made it run Windows 2000. I don't know how much it uses this thing and all that, but there's so many things to take into consideration, right? Let's see how it looks. This is the HP 5530. Okay, let's see how it looks. Okay, looks a little bigger than. Is there any RAM thing any place, or is that just fixed to the? Well, we have some information on the Parky Towers website from the UK. Yeah, the RAM is soldered to the board and so fixed at 128 megabyte. Yeah. Okay. Well, of course, it's not bad, for an old computer. 128. The Windows XP should be able to run on that. I can't remember what the minimum is, but yeah, it's 800 megahertz. How much does it use in regards to power consumption? Yeah, but that's no. I'll skip that. And it's just so annoying with all these you going to the left and the right. Okay, this is 1.2 gigahertz version. Yeah. This is 1.2 gigahertz version. This is what? Is it 1.2 gigahertz? You have keyboard with this one and a mouse, but doesn't say what the clock speed is. 1.2 gigahertz. So this is also one of the good versions. You have Windows Embedded Standard, apparently. I don't know if there's difference in regard to the two embedded. You know, there seems to be an XP embedded and then another XP embedded that is named somewhat different. So. So we have this one. It's not that, you know, it's for, you know, still pretty cheap compared that you actually get a keyboard, you get a mouse, old school, you know, plug for mouse and keyboard. So that will fit directly into the unit itself. Of course, I could just get an adapter for these things, and as far as I recall, I had adapters in the past, and I should be able to find some kind of adapters again. Because, or maybe that was the other direction. Maybe it was from the to USB. I can't remember. But anyway, these have keyboards for. Would be nice if I just had the same plug instead, or at least had the same keyboard that could plug into both kinds of plugs. But I think there's keyboards actually that had both plugs, where you could either choose one or the other. But anyway, here you get the power supply, the the keyboard, the mouse, and the computer itself. I think there was also some new version or new ones that you could actually get where they were packed in as new, but this item is in new condition, including accessories and blah blah blah. It's probably all from the US, and not everybody ships outside of. Of course, getting it from the US might be, 400 kroners shouldn't be, but of course they're going to take 160 for. So you have to add that up to the price, I guess. I just need one device, to try out first, right? And then I can always go from there. They say it's Windows 98, I guess, but it looks like Windows. No, it's actually it's XP. This one at least is XP. This looks like Windows 2000. Might be 98. This looks very like 90 or 2000. Anyway, this is like 700 kroners or $99.99. So that's a lot. I guess he has fixed the device. He has fixed it with Windows 98. I guess it's from the video channel as well, from this guy's video channel where he used it for. Yeah, so he has done a lot of things to the device, So lots of good information and this and that and all that, but you're also paying for him to, I guess it's not much if you can't figure that out yourself, right? It's also installed CMonkey 1119 and Daemon tools for virtual CD drives, and so he has done a good amount of things. So it's not a and also made a video on it. So it's not for people who are less or don't want to do it or have more than enough resources anyway. It's a way to do it. But I think it's still kind of, on the expensive end for me. If I just want to try it out, right? So this one I can get for 400, nearly half the price, and I can even get it with a keyboard. It doesn't seem to, I guess there's no DVI adapter. What is this over here? Oh, I guess that's for the feet. So here you have nearly a whole new unit for half the price, and I guess it should also have the embedded version of Windows. Let's see what it says. No, actually it says an LEW unit. So I probably have the wireless. I would need to take that out. That should be a way to take the wireless out. I don't want any wireless in my devices. I'm not sure if it's easy to take out. I would need to go through that, or maybe I can turn the wireless off in the BIOS. That might be another way. But I would think that the double V means that it's wireless. I think. Let's see if he can find some information on that on his homepage here on the Parky Towers. Oh, it's getting hot. That's stupid drinking coffee. Hot coffee. Well, I guess it's not that hot anymore in regards to the coffee. It doesn't write about the double V version, it seems. No. Well, I would think that it would be like having wireless, and that's the why it has like a, you know, 400. It's not bad. AC power cable. Of course, I will need to change the plug to. Hopefully, it can do 230 volts and not 110 volts. That might be a problem actually. I don't know if usually they can do both things. So, but yeah, they will probably be made for 120 volts. Oh, I had Windows embedded. Is it Windows XP or? It's a little hard to see. Windows something embedded standard. Oh well. Okay. But yeah, for information, it's nice to have this guy. Has already done a lot of good thing. A lot of 1 gigabyte DDR2 RAM clocked at 533 megahertz. And again, I don't know if you could put more into it, or if that's the max. It might be the maximum that you can get into it, but sometimes you can get more into. And here also we have a list of the names of the Ethernet adapter, the AC97 sound, so that will also make it easier to find drivers, of course. Here he shows the partitions that he made, a Windows Dual Boot selectable on startup, the daemon tools for mounting ISO files, although I usually use another thing that is free. I guess daemon tools is probably also free, but there's another application that should be able to run, although I'm not sure. Maybe he's running daemon tool because there's some 32-bit thing or whatever, I don't know. It talks a little about the different things you can do in the BIOS, but yeah, too expensive for my okay, so 1 point. Here we have the version model VX0 V90LE XPE. So this is the and LE without the double V. And yeah, that's has pretty much the thing. I guess people would probably have put more RAM in it if it could handle more RAM. I guess people must have tried it. Excluding power supply, black model. Yeah, there's no power supply with this. Installed OS, no OS installed. Windows XP embedded license only, so you can still download it from Microsoft. And as far as I know, it's there for. I did install or find, but of course now the virus has, so I would need to refine those things. It's a lot of things I would need to redo all over again because of this virus nonsense. So you don't get an adapter with this, but apparently this is a unit without the double V, and it's still a 1.2 unit. Again, I only need one, but again, there might be something I can, you know, use for from another device, like maybe the flash. Oh, there's only 1 GB flash in this. That's not much, but that's very, you know, that would, you know, I guess it's enough to test things, right? Windows 2000 needs 400 megabyte, you know, so it's enough to test if things are working, I guess. That would be a way to, but yeah, what is the double V for? What does it stand for? See, does he have any, he just have the VX0LE, but he doesn't have the LE double V as far as, but I would think it would be standing for wireless. We can try to like this and search for this and see what it says. Oh yeah, we have the, oh we actually have, we have the manual for the LE, it seems. Let's see if we can, okay. Have advertising, typical. The whole internet is just full of disgusting advertising. The converting Wise VX0LE to Thin OS, installing Wise Simple Manager, introduction kit, blah blah blah. Let's see if there's more. No, introduction. There's a DVD-ROM, a conversion software, simply DVD. That's the Thin OS and all that, but we'll not use it for that. But maybe in regards of updating the BIOS and all that. But I'm not sure if they actually have the drivers for updating. Oh, there's a lot of things, right? Always a lot of things. Can I actually write the guy here? Contact seller. Let's try to ask this guy and see if contact is and let's try to send him a message if it's running 19 or 12 volts. That's in regards to the laptop. Because again, if the laptops are running 19, you know, again, if it worked, it would, you know, if I could just, I want to try to plug this one into the 12 volts and see what happens. I need some cables, by the way, as well. I need to order to actually be able to, you know, some plugs for the 12 volts. And I found some where you can also fix wires in and all that, so I can cut the cables up and try things out and plug them together again afterwards if it doesn't work, you know. It might not look so good, but who cares, you know, as long as things are working. That's the important thing. We can always, you know, you could always look into if, yeah, anyway. Also, so many factors, so many things. This is a new whatever. Yeah, well, let's just close it down here. Close that down. That's the manual for the X10 whatever. It's here we have the laptop. I know if the same guy, but we can contact seller. Probably the same. Alles PC, that's the German. Okay. Go. Sent. Great. And next one here we have the Vatican Billions by Avro Manhattan. Of course, in regards of who the Antichrist is and all that. Okay, we have, I guess this is Alice's computer again. They seem to be doing some pretty good things in regards of refurnishing things, I guess it's called. Yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah, I don't need to write them twice on this laptop. Yeah, Alice 4 PC. They seem to be doing some pretty good things on older models and fixing them. They have a lot of products, so I'm sick and tired of this flashing nonsense. I don't know. It's saying that the whole P support and all that want to change, and it just keeps on going, with this nonsense. Okay, so here we have the Wise client, Windturn V90 VX0. Okay, so what's? Oh yeah, that's the version where they put in a hard drive into this one. Apparently there's room for a hard drive in this, but it's only 1 gigahertz. So meet SSD EDE 32 gigabyte Festplatte. That's a hard drive apparently in German. 2 gange RS232. Okay, I don't see the other one, but if that would be that plug. Und USB. Parallel port LPT inklusive NIS-style und Standfuß. Standfuß, okay, Standfuß. Yeah, foot to stand on, I guess. Netzteil must be net. Okay, 1 gigahertz CPU, 256 megabyte RAM. Should be able to be upgrading at least to a gigabyte. 32 gigabyte ED Festplatte, but the question is, there should be another plug for a hard drive, which is usually standard. PCMCIA, yeah. But it's again only 1 gigahertz, so that's kind of not the fastest unit. I don't think that, of course on the picture you can see the RAM, you can see the hard drive, how it's put on. Doesn't seem to be any screws keeping the hard drive. I wonder if it's just a loose, if they just put it in loose in the unit. They might just have done that. Which is, then it would wriggle around. I don't see any it does look like that there could be a connection point there where they could fix it, to the unit, but besides that, that doesn't really seem to be yeah. But yeah, there seems to be, room enough for it to be there. Oh, now it's giving me this nonsense again, I guess just everything on that computer just went. Alas 4PC concurrent 4PC.de. And we have the, the plug for the, you do have everything pretty much. And we have VGA RS232. What? So here you actually have, it seems to be an old school screen, VGA screen on. You have 2 of these RS232. Okay. Which I don't know what you're going to use to, maybe an old school printer or whatever, I don't know, or joystick or whatnot, I don't know, but it has 2 of them. Okay, and an old school VGA screen, and I don't think that can run a dual on the most feature-rich, highest performing Windows XP embedded thin client, it says. Yeah, well, true 1 gigahertz x86 CPU coupled to a high resolution 24-bit video controller. Okay. Diskless, fanless configuration. Yeah, well, I think it's interesting, the thing with the, you know, with the hard drive in it, but it's still only 1 gigahertz. So I would like to have the last 2 gigahertz, right? 0.2 gigahertz. So that's a slim computer here as well. I should have some of the, I don't know what it's running on, but I think I have some open someplace. But again, it seems to be a pretty good choice, the other one here. I just need to find what version and of course when I have the unit, test it out and further look into what then to do from there on, I guess. I have the other device coming, and it might only be running Windows 7, which is okay because, then I will have a machine that can run Windows 7 that is still low consumption and all that. So that's not totally bad, I guess. So if I ever need Windows 7 or one of these more modern things, I can just use that and still be very low in power consumption. We have the Windows 2000 computer. This is a different model, but it doesn't really say what it is. Lots of German again. My mini computer Piccolo, Silencioso, Respamio, Energetico, Condisco, Radquito, ETEE, Da 40. That doesn't sound like German, does it? This is a NeoWare, apparently. Where's the connection for it? Well, it looks like it's a little bigger. You have place for a hard drive and a PCI slot, and apparently it's 12 volts. That's interesting. It's actually 12 volts. Passive cooling for CPU and chipset. Yeah. And you have room for hard drive and a PCI slot. And I have seems to be 2 plugs for screen, a VGA and a DVI, but it's one of these DVI with only one. So I don't know. I can't remember the version of the DVI. So, and then you have it's just running on 12 volts, so that's nice. You have the PS2, both for mouse and keyboard. There's some USB. I don't know if it's the old version or the new version. I guess it's probably the old version. That's more details on that. I don't know how much that would suck of power, but that would be interesting to try out. I will have another one. It looks a little different. Seems to be somewhat a little difference between the two. Between this and that. I don't know if it's just different models. Uh-oh. I'll push the... It's getting hot. All these factors, right? But again, it did stand the thing in regards to 12 volts. This one also runs on 12 volts. That's nice. Well, we have another device running 12 volts, having a 512 megabyte DDR2 sodium RAM thing, and it's also without a fan. We have a CPU via 800 megahertz in this one, and they have a 2 gigabyte SSD IDE. So I guess this is one of these, weird things where you can. Okay, so you can get a bigger one, I guess, hard drive than 2 gigabytes, but again, it's still enough to test it out. 800 megahertz via 2 gigabytes SSD, EDE, 5 USB ports, DVR, VGA, ply newer, 20 times 20 centimeter. You don't have any. No, you have something in the front, but I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's only for light. So you have all the USB ports at the back. One keyboard, it seems. PS2. You have some 10 to 100 megabit. Doesn't really matter if it's only 100 megabit. Should be more than enough. As far as I recall, I can't. How many megabyte does 100 megabit do? I can't remember. But anyway, video, DVI, VGA with adapter. So I guess that might be an adapter or something like that. Yeah, we have the inclusive DVI VGA adapter. So you have an adapter. Then you have the RS2320 COM port, and then you have the power 12 volts. So it only has 800 megahertz CPU, so that's 400 megahertz lower than the. But that it's still up there. But of course it's again, there's a lot of factors that plays into how things are going. Here we have the IDE 44 pin controller for EDE 44 pin notebook HDD. We also have a slot for compact flash, apparently. All these different ways of this and that and all that. It's not, but the unit itself is not so big. We have we have one USB 2.0 port in the front. I guess the ones on the back are probably then only one. No, it's actually 2.0 as well. Okay, so every single port is, so you don't have any 3.0 USB ports, but they're 2.0. I can't remember the difference between the 1 and the 2, but should be some kind of. I think the 2 to 3 are like 10 times the fast or speed or something like that. Maybe I get that wrong. Maybe it's only 5 times. I think it's 10 times. Here we have the jack stick and the in and out and all that. Here we have the BIOS. Oh, here they plug the compact flash card in, apparently. I don't know how big you can find these compact flash cards, but you can put that into the motherboard at least, and then have the other. I think you can have both the hard drive and the compact flash. So you have 2 ways at least on that level. Maybe there's an adapter for you to actually, make from one to another. Then you have the SSD, ICDE, disk on chip, and 4 gigabyte CF card. That's what they write here. And it's running on 12 volts. COM mostrator e discreto. Oh, interesting. And it's, it can run Windows 2000. Mini PC for Windows 2000. Yeah, might be, again, might be an interesting. I don't think that would work for Windows 2000. This one, that's probably too new. It would be nice with a new little slim thing that could just run Windows 2000, right? Windows XP mini thing, ATI. If it can run Windows XP, there's a little chance that it also might be running Windows 2000. We have like 20 watts. Still seems to be a little too much, but okay. Oh my, there's a lot of things to try out if you wanna. And I'm like, come on, I hope that the thing that I've already paid for can actually run Windows 2000. If that can run Windows 2000, I think I'm pretty much, I'm pretty much there. If it can't, then I will need to see if I can find something else. But again, if they have locked the BIOS, as it sounds like, that it cannot start Windows, other Windows systems, that's kind of a problem. So I'll have to figure out what they have made of walls. Yeah. So tedious to use all the time on. Okay, let's see. Okay, Mass. So that's the Massachusetts Compact. Oh, we have the hardware. Okay, so we have the Dell Y010LE thin client. Yeah, that's. I think I have. That's a search for 1.2 gigahertz. Here we have one of the 1.2 gigahertz. Yeah. Here we have YC10LE 1 gigahertz. It does have the keyboard, and no, this is okay. This is the other one. Okay, so let's move that over here. So this is another version. Let's close that one. Very, very small unit, but again, how much it's consuming and all that, I don't know. I think this is the same thing. Yep, it's the same thing. Let's close that down. Let's see what we have here. At 1.2 gigahertz. Oh yeah, that's the expensive one. He has fixed up. That's good information, all that, but here there was a place where we got keyboard and mouse and all that together. That's the one. Pretty cheap, I think that seems to be the best choice for now. Again, you get the keyboard with it. I don't have any keyboards of that kind anymore. Yeah, and you get the 1.2. Okay. And this is the same thing in regards of, well, I guess this thin client. Okay. We have another thin client, the same. Let's see, I think this is probably the same as, yeah, this one. I have a lot of the same opened. Then we have the tiny Dell Windows XP Pro SP3 Gaming PC 1.6 gigahertz, 2 gigabyte RAM and 64 gigabyte, but that seems to be worse than, but it's a small unit for sure. I guess it can maybe run more screens if you have like a splitter for the DVI cable thing. You can set more RAM in it, and yeah, but it didn't really run. You tried to run Quake 2 and it could run, but not like I'm going to game, but it gives me an idea of, it would be nice if they actually looked at some of the video, and played some videos, so you could actually see how the video would run on the device. Because that's kind of the important thing, gaming is less of a concern, but in regards of how it runs when you're using it in daily life and see a video and all that, here we have a good video on the, and this is for the,
you'll see a couple dedicated PS2 ports for keyboard and mouse. Not all thin clients have those. That's handy for, especially if you want to do older DOS games and it doesn't support keyboard and mouse emulation. And
yeah,
because it's the most.
I mean, he has made a wonderful video, and the BIOS looks like one of the BIOS I had from of old as well. It looks familiar for sure. I'm not sure which one of the computers and all that I had with this, but it was like the Word B BIOS CMOS setup utility. It looks very, very like I've seen before in one of my old computers. So that's also, and that's for the V90LE. We have another video from him. Oh, that's the same thing, I guess. Converting. Yep. Then we have this one. This is a C50LE. I don't know what the C stands for. Well, it looks. What is this? Is this different or what? Yeah, I don't know. Looks a little different. Okay, what do we have here? It's 1.2 gigahertz. Well, it says it's a V90 LEW. So I don't know what in regards to the C50. But it's an LEW. And I guess that would, and there you have, yeah, that's very cheap as well, and you get the whole package, pretty much. Oh, it's the same thing as this one, I think, actually. Yeah, you get the whole package. Yeah, it's the same. You get keyboard, you get mouse, and it's not that expensive, and so yeah, and here we have the FX170, and apparently there's another company that had made these units, which are exactly the same, but just with another name. The 10SIG56XX, apparently. They're pretty cheap, you know. They're both running 12 volts, which of course is okay. They also talk the Dell FX170 is another example that is a rebatch U800. So apparently, I guess that might be another one that is the same unit. Okay, so we might have 3 different of the same device. And then the question is, which one do you like in regards of looks, I guess, you know. And apparently it can go up to 4 gigabyte of RAM and flash up to 2 gigs. And you can probably make that more. But anyway, let's try to search this Clientron U800 and get some pictures and see the. Well, we have some pictures. Clienton thin clients. Oh, it's not much difference in regards to the looks overall. As you know, I guess here we have the Dell. We have the chip PC. We have different versions of the what looks like to be the same thing. Yeah, I guess the FX130 actually does look the smoothest, at least for. Oh well, I think I'll need to take a break soon. I think I need to get to the toilet. A good morning waste on the toilet. Well, I guess it's not morning anymore. So, I guess the coffee makes the things go, right? Anyway, let's see here. But again, the devices are really not on eBay. They're very cheap, these devices. So if you know, if they run pretty good in regards of not using too much resources and all of that. Although I guess this version does seem to be a little more expensive, even if it should be the same unit. But maybe there's not that many of them. You know, but if it's the same hardware, it doesn't really matter. You just take the cheapest. So, oh, we have a message from Germany, I guess, in regards of the, yeah, must be 19 volts, yeah. Okay. I could of course try to ask them. He says it must be 19. Okay, let's try. Try to replay. Let's try that. Let's see. Send message. Very quick to respond. Looks like a pretty nice German company as well. Okay, Dell Optiplex FX170. I guess some information on this device. But again, yeah, it doesn't have it. You know, it has 4 USB ports and all that. Very small device, and it looks, it looks pretty good overall. It's didn't look like it was as fast as the other one, but anyway, I'll take a break now, and I need to make a dump. So take care, all of you, and I'll further move on in regards of looking around. May Jehovah be with you, and Yeshua, most precious pearl, and the Spirit of truth be in us all. Amen. Have a good one.